Holy moly, we're back. It is Sunday, and what Sunday? Sunday is fun day. Oh, gotta shut the music off here for a second. I'm your host, Saku, coming in hot with a Sunday Showdown episode with Legacy Series Gold Conference. So I am joined by longtime casters and longtime THL personalities within the content itself as well as players. Going to start off with my man Hustle. How you doing, Hustle?
I'm doing well, Saku. I'm grateful to be lumped in the long-time casters slash content guys at this point. It doesn't quite feel like I've been here so long, but I guess it has been several
A
seasons
year
now. So
plus
I'm
at
very
least.
grateful that I'm still
Yeah.
around. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right.
So and then we got the ever popular Azalea Akari. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm super happy to get to cast. I haven't got to do a whole lot of casting with Hustle. I'm very excited for this.
I know, me too. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I think we've done it
Yeah,
once before only.
yeah, definitely.
So tonight's match is going to be, like I mentioned, Legacy Gold. So we have Defias up against E.T. Cthulhu. Azalea, you want to go over the players that are involved, and Hustle can come on in with the bands that are already decided.
Absolutely. So our two players hailing from Defias, their 5C, we have Walkerman. Long time. He played a long time ago and came back last season and has gone off to a hot start this season. Um, with running Druid, Paladin, Rogue, Shaman this week against E.T. Cthulhu's Captain and 5-seat Eternal, rocking Death Knight, Druid, Paladin, and Shaman.
All right.
And no paladin for either of those going into
Yeah.
this. Both have been banned, which is not too surprising given its sort of dominance at the moment.
Yeah. It's a good ban. It's always a good ban at this point. Um yeah. And the only matches in this particular series, the only time that Paladin has not been banned is when a player has not had Paladin. So yeah.
Yeah, it's an easy
So
one. It has been Shaman, the auto ban for a little while, but we get to
yeah.
see a couple of Shamans get played today, if all things go well. So looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Yep.
So the players are ready. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
All
Let's do
right.
it.
So with that, we're going to have Walkerman versus Spectate for our casters. So be at the bottom of the screen with Eternal at the top of the screen. So I'm going to let the players know that they can start, and then we will have some fun casting.
Absolutely. Yeah, and going into this, we have Druid, Rogue, Shaman for Walkerman, Death Knight, Druid, Shaman. What do you think these players are leading?
Well, I'm not too familiar with these two players and how they like to approach things. I like playing strong stuff up front, and so to me, that's going to be like shaman or druid, with
Hmm.
the paladin absent. Just try and get some early momentum going, and those seem like a pair of classes that can really just win in any circumstance if paladin's not there
Yeah,
threatening it.
absolutely. I personally typically like to in conquest. I typically just like to roll a dice and see what the dice says my lead should be. I don't um and from then I typically will go from there. But so yeah, I don't know. I would not be surprised to see a shaman from someone to start. Shaman is a strong class. There's two predominant shaman decks. So we could see a nature shaman from somebody. We could see a Highlander shaman. Um, I think every archetype here besides Death Knight has going to be played has multiple decks. As the players are
Yeah,
in
and
the
depending on
game.
the style of player Eternal is, it could even be, I've been seeing a Highlander Blood Death Knight sort of floating around here and there. So,
Yeah.
so that's the fun thing with these closed deck lists is, you can get surprised sometimes, but looks like they're
Mhm,
starting, so let's hop in.
mhm. All right. So we see Druid versus Shaman. This looks very much like a Highlander Shaman out of Eternal. And a, I would say this is a duplicate Dragon Druid from Walkerman. I don't, but I'm pretty sure, I would guess that Alex Strauss is probably running both lists at this point.
Yeah, we just were talking about Pocket Train and Worlds
Yeah.
sort of off stream, and his Pocket Train's list is running the Alex Straza, so I imagine that's going to start popping up more and more in these lists as people sort of look at him as an example. And
Yeah.
Highlander Shaman for Eternal. I mean.
And this is, to me, this is a potentially interesting turn for Eternal. He could opt to go for a Forge. He could have opted to just play it for play the card for Temple or Hero Power. But I think Forging was a very solid pick here. Meanwhile, for Walker Band, a very nice construct on 1 into a Splish Splash Whelp on 2, and he's off to the races. Has a number of great options. Okay, yeah, that's a get the tempo out. Don't really care that you're losing 5 healing as much. But Eternal decides there. And here,
Twilight Drake is a pretty nice thing to find with the size of the hand and the turn it is, turn 4. But
yeah,
may decide to try and get a Battle Cry instead.
Yeah, I am leaning Drake here. The Spinetail, just keep the board. But Walkerman's gonna opt for the early coin Flower Child. Okay, we draw Dragon Golem and we draw Phi.
Yeah, that's sort of an interesting choice there. I see people make that on ladder sometimes, and the criticism of it being that you still now have a turn to wait until you can get the Dragon Golem down.
Yeah, to me it just seems a bit awkward. I think coin is great if you can. It's great because you have a chance to even get an earlier Alex Straza possibility. And it does sort of pan out. The 4 Kel'Thalos that came off of the Watcher there was really wasn't much of a much that the Shaman actually did on that turn, but this is really nice. You get the 5/6 taunt down. You're pushing 2 damage, and now you have a feeling that a Holiday's coming down, but it's gonna have to go through a lot of damage, and the golems being 4/5s. This is a full board, and I like just going to the dome. This who missed that was 2 damage missed, right? He didn't swing the splishy, or did I miss it?
Yeah, I missed.
So I didn't see that go up either.
A little bit of fast play. That can happen. It's always good to take your time when you're playing to make sure you get all your attacks in. Hex, Alter Cord in this it opts for the Hex. Probably gonna play it on the 5/6 here, eliminate that damage, but which does in theory save, but safe enough, but it's not enough because I hope it's spotted, but Hero Power and the Amber Whelp will just end the game here. So I'm guessing he's doing his counting now to make sure that he'll have the correct damage. He can even swing with the 2/1 if he wishes instead. But he was exactly 2 damage off, and he has the Amber Whelp in hand. So yeah, he can just swing with the
Doesn't
minions.
look like they're going to miss it.
Nope. It is just going to require a Hero Power at the end. Yep.
Just like that, we're on to game 2.
Yep, very well played game by the Druid. It does. I would say most of those turns kind of played themselves out pretty well, but there was a couple of options for different four cost cards to play. Like, you know, he could have, if instead of playing the taunt, he goes for the Drake, or Twilight Drake, then things could have gone a bit worse. There's more taunts on the board in that case, and Holiday gets more value. So I really liked the lines that were taken. The Shaman just unfortunately didn't have a good way to deal with a board of 4/5s, which there's not a lot of things that really do.
Yeah.
Here comes the Rogue.
Yep, and Eternal's running back the Shaman.
Yep, Shaman's getting run back, and this is a Mech Rogue, something that
very fun.
Yeah, it can go fast. It's very much like partially draw reliant. It hasn't been as in favor this season as last season, but nonetheless, it can definitely get a win.
Yeah, it's a favorite of mine, and it is one of those decks where if you sort of draw the wrong stuff early, it just feels so terrible. But sometimes you draw the right stuff early, and you're done on turn 4. So we'll see which kind of game this one is, and whether or not this is the list that runs Thunderbringer, or if it's a standard list.
Yeah, for sure. I am not sure that was the line, but nonetheless, we do see a coin and the subsequent Sparkbot magnetize onto the Deconstructor.
It's an interesting move. I wonder if the thinking there was to try and bait out some of those piranhas to get this Inventomatic a little stickier, because you can get so much value off of the Inventomatic, because just surface level, I'm like, why would you they obviously have ways of killing that, but now that I see that this is
that
down
bone
and
spike.
sticking,
I do hope that he swings first before he plays the spider here. Because otherwise you're losing the stealth. I know that there's not really that much that you're missing, but if he did have Hex, that would be unfortunate. But fortunately, there is no Hex. You see Carving Chisel played out. This is going to get pretty dangerous pretty fast, potentially, from the side of the Rogue. There is a good chunk of heal, though, on the side of the Shaman.
Cold storage will help somewhat.
Agreed.
At least to slow things down.
Okay, so this is some deck that's running. I don't exactly know.
It's got that big 10 cost.
What Cobalt?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the
Thunderbringer with the
Thunderbringer variant.
Yeah.
Okay.
It may be. Sometimes I think that the version that runs like motherships and stuff also uses these kobolds, but it's sort of fallen out of favor in favor of Thunderbringer.
I wasn't sure if that had fallen out of favor. We do see Ajaran Scrolls to pick up a Scalding Geyser. In a cold storage to stop the damage. So any Storm Coil next turn would be okay. There is potential type of plays that would dissuade off of it, because the card it does just create a copy, so it would be frozen. It would not be able to attack. Shaman with another cold storage. This one from deck.
Yeah, and opting to
make
Hero
the copy.
Power instead of Forge the Watcher there.
Yeah.
Probably trying to increase the odds of getting that Taunt Totem up.
For sure. Yeah, just wanted to roll for that taunt. Cold Storage is going to go down onto the Divine Shielded minion. Man, there is definitely a good chance to see some form of larger minion being picked up here for the Rogue with the second Invento with the Pit Stop. I'm curious to see what the draw is in the line. From the Shaman side, we're just gonna see perhaps just removing the Innie with everything we have. The Tumbleweed getting picked up is gonna be pretty big.
It's gonna be pretty big, but that health stat on these two mechs
but those two health,
not gonna
you're
quite
right.
be enough.
Yeah, the two health stats for sure. No Lightning Storm to really bring him down, or to remove the Divine Shield. That's a frame that doesn't do a whole lot this turn. That is a snoop. Yep. I like ripping the pit stop. Frequency's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh wow. Double Inventomatic. So that's coin. Yeah. Okay, we're coining out the other pit stop here? Or no, we're coining out a hero power. Okay.
So, yeah. So Eternal really needing like an evolve effect here, but unfortunately not going to get it.
Not going to have it. Yeah, that is a okay, so I mean, you have to pray to Prison of Yoxer here. I feel like realistically you're best out here. It's the break glass in case of emergency. I would put it on the 11-12 and just see what happens. There's potential you clear the whole board with a Whirlpool, so there's also potential that just does nothing.
Well,
it has summoned a bunch of taunts. That is going to be tough to get through. And Turn the Tides was picked up too, so you could definitely pop the Divine Shield. And you can pop the 4-2 potentially with your face.
And with the Wind Fury on this, you really gotta...
with the Wind Fury, you really have to... Yeah, he really needs to pop the Divine Shield, because that would make it so it can't double trade as easily and keep as much health. Now, I mean, like this is two taunts, and that's a huge pickup. That Bone Spike. I don't think that's going to be enough unless we see a really good pit stop pickup here. Which there's a lot of good pickups. None of those are, unfortunately, none of them do any effect of magnetizing. I do think this is just lethal though. Swing there, the 4-4 and the 6-8 swing, and then the 6-8 and the other minion you get to go face. Or double swing with that, and it's just lethal. Yep. So the Shaman unfortunately having a very rough time, and the Rogue able to get through for Walkerman. And from here, playing for points, you have to look at your best matchup into his Shaman, and that would be your Death Knight. If you think it's a Highlander Shaman, you want to play...
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to play your Death Knight here. You want to get your Plagues.
Yeah, that seems like the main reason to bring the Death Knight is to try and disrupt Highlander, and that's what they're going to do. Schooling in hand for Walkerman is sort of a nice grab. This good opener for Eternal too, with the weapon and the
Cavalier.
Distressed Cavalier on 2, plus an AoE effect for if your opponent gets a little bit aggro here. And it actually looks like Walkerman running the Nature Shaman.
Yeah, this is a Nature Shaman. I do remember last season Walkerman being a fan of this deck, putting a lot of time in on it. So, not the most surprising play, a choice of deck. And it really subverts, like the expectation of this being a Highlander deck. And just playing schooling and fishes doesn't really give anything away either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in a closed decklist format like this, that's really important, because you can just sort of like hold back information until it's you're no longer able to. Because like a Turn the Tides, schooling, fishes, as far as Eternal knows this could still be just Highlander.
Yep, for sure. And no Helia picked up yet for the DK, and opts to take the swing because we'll just refresh the weapon here. So there's a lot of plagues in the Shaman's deck, but it's not the biggest deal. The Jazz base, if he slams the Jazz base here, that will instantly give it away that this is that this is not a Highlander deck. But
yeah, that's going to change up some of the strategy here for Eternal, but
yeah,
ultimately with this deck, it's put plagues in and try and win that way. That's really not much more to it.
Yeah, for sure. You put plagues in the deck. The big and from the side of wow, that's an unfortunate.
Wow. That's unfortunate. Inza, which is really big.
Yeah, that makes Inza like it hurts Inza a ton. But we're gonna see the first flash of lightning. Now these plagues aren't respawning. Oh, interesting. All right, we're going for an early lightning reflexes play. But I'm guessing that part of this is just going to be that the Shaman wants to keep the DK kind of off the board. I like picking Bolt's good here. It's good. We'll remove the Cobalt Miner. Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting that we have used one lightning and one reflexes and one flash. As this deck doesn't have really now only has one. Now has to regain all of the. Now has to especially regain the lightning reflexes. For sure. Next turn is probably just Inza though, because you only have 5 mana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gotta hope that you can hold out a little longer.
Ooh, we're ripping
the reflexes right away.
We're ripping the second reflexes. He has no way to really get a whole bunch of other spells now.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think he wanted
zap
to.
There.
Yeah, maybe he was looking for zap. I think I might have taken the turn the tides because I have the weapon there. But I'm not the most suited to talk about say every good or bad play from a nature shaman. I do know that we're quite a bit ways off of lethal, unfortunately for the shaman, and for the Death Knight picking up the Death Knight's just gonna be able to deal with the board here and swing 7 face and get a living stone out as a taunt minion in the way.
Yeah, no Helia yet for Eternal, which is what you really want to try and get to keep these plagues persisting, but they're doing the trick anyway.
Yeah, for all of the good thing is that these plagues are all leaving the deck. None of them are sticking in the deck once they're drawn for the shaman, but this doesn't make it any easier. 12 damage showing on board. You have to take the lightning storm here, I imagine. Just to try and remove the 4th. You remove the 4/3. And you probably maybe you just rip a hero. Probably just rip a hero power here. Unless you really feel the need to use lightning bolt. And maybe you consider using lightning bolt, but using the last swing of the
trying to activate the Crash of. You've got the Crash of Thunder available to get both with one, but you'd rather hold that for the very end.
Absolutely.
Oh, Helia off the top is a pretty good find.
Off the top is very good. That would make this game so much more difficult for the shaman to win now. Because now the plagues do not go away. Now we have a 1-mana 2/3 rusher getting dropped on the board. That card was buffed in the last patch, along with the canary excavation card as well. That's a good pickup with the ancestral knowledge. Might want to just play Thorm instead potentially. You're drawing 2 cards off. You're drawing Yeah, 2 cards off of that. Oh, unfortunately, a plague.
Yikes.
Unfortunately, the plague strike there is just a ton of. It's just pretty unfortunate. The ancestral knowledge going back to its original cost.
Yeah.
We're
And Walkerman,
overdrafting.
I think,
We're
sort of.
overdrafting for nothing because you weren't overloaded anymore. Ripping that, yeah. Ripping the
Yeah.
ancestral
It seems
knowledge.
like Walkerman knows the writings on the wall here. You know, that
Yeah.
frost plague, keeping him from being able to use the Crash of Thunder to clear a couple of these minions off.
Yeah.
And Taunt Totem, but yeah, they're aware. They know it's
Taunt
time.
Totem and Lethal on board. So yeah, so it's now a 2-1 match in favor of Walkerman Eternal getting the win in game 3.
Yep, avoiding the sweep, and now with knowledge that it's a nature shaman and not a Highlander shaman, so they'll be able to use the information in their choice here.
Yes, definitely. Probably want to play Druid potentially. Hey,
they agree.
it's gonna be Druid because.
Wow, good opening hand for Walkerman.
Yeah, this is pretty good. That's the only
and it looks like it's actually a Treant Druid there, or a Treant Druid there for Eternal.
Okay, yeah, we're playing aggro, and Walkerman opts to go for the Novice Zapper on 1. He must have. I feel like he must have had some like. It just seems very odd to just drop the Zapper on 1 in a matchup versus Druid. Perhaps there's some intuition that it was potentially not a Dragon Druid. It looks like playing the Zapper here is going to be quite strong, honestly. Deputy Dryscale was the pick. We're coining a hero power out and removing the Zapper. So that's 3 damage taken to face and losing one of your lingering zombie death rattles. Meanwhile, a ancestral knowledge pickup. But knowing what type of deck this is, we're just playing for board here.
Yeah, that's all you have to do is just deny them board every time. So Eternal's gonna have a challenge keeping this aggression up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. No board and no real, so no way to directly remove this Miracle Salesman without playing. Okay, actually, I'm sorry, I missed the natural causes, but I feel like you still want to remove it, even though I feel like natural causes was still okay to go even into the Miracle Salesman, because otherwise it's just a 2/2 that can get a pretty good trade.
Yeah, I agree. I'm surprised they didn't go for the clear there.
I was gonna say, I think I want to see an ancestral knowledge off the top. But as long as he doesn't overload next turn, it's okay.
Right.
And I think I'm kind of okay either way playing. Yeah. Playing hero power or playing the 2 cards, the Zapper and the Fish.
Zapper. Yeah, you play the Zapper, you need to trade the Salesman in maybe, and maybe they're trying to just do what they can with it on board. But
yeah, natural causes does come in. There's now 3 Plot of Sins in hand, and one of them is 1 away from becoming 2 5/5s. We're getting kind of close to the point where next turn Golganeth is just going to be a pretty devastating play for Walkerman. He'll get to play that. He'll get to clear most of the board and play Feral Spirits as well, potentially.
Right.
If he so chooses.
And heal.
Yeah, he's healing 6. He's healing off all 6 damage that's coming in. but notably, the plot of Sin is not 5/5s. So
Oh, they use the one that's already partially infused, which I'm
yeah,
not sure that's the way you go. Although,
I agree.
if this board dies, it's still going to infuse the other two. So it's kind of like it's sort
Yeah,
of like no harm, no foul.
sure. If we don't remove, if this board getting removed is still very bad,
Yeah, it's not looking
this
good.
jazz based next turn is probably going to be able to get this bioluminescence low, and there is a chance for there's a chance that Eternal does not
Six.
survive next turn based off draw, or I should say depending
Right.
on draw. Because
And
realistically,
Golgamith can draw 3 overload cards too, which
yes,
is
and
pretty consequential.
that's yeah, like you said, absolutely consequential. Um, Aeroponics would just summon a 2/2. Uh, Living Roots plus a hero power would remove something.
Yeah. And just trying to get back on board, I don't think it's going to be enough from this position. I think that you're right. I bet you Walkerman has the win. But don't bring your health total even further down.
Yeah, if he plays this, then it's actually not even necessary to do anything except for except for just go bioluminescence and play bioluminescence and lightning bolt. Should just be lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and I think he's just
Walkerman's gonna.
yeah. Walkerman is just realizing it. Yep,
Yeah, you don't even
he's
need
found the
the.
game, the lethal, and
Well, and Walkerman takes it in a 3-1 victory to close out the series for this week for ETC Cthulhu. Get them a couple more.
yeah, a couple of points.
Stack up a couple more points.
Yep,
Oh, I'm sorry. Walkerman's on Defias.
he's on
Forgive me.
Defias. Yeah, so
So
Defias.
scoring them a couple of extra points.
Yeah,
But
this Defias can't win the week, but Defias gets some much needed points. Yeah, I actually am going to have to step out before the interview. But I want to say thank you to Saku for letting me know about this opportunity and Hustle for casting with me.
No
And
worries.
I will see everyone on Hearthcenter this next week. So have a great night and see you guys for Hearthcenter.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
All right, just gotta see if Walkerman is able to jump in for an interview. They may not have mic set up. Quick interview. Not. No worries. So we'll see what they say. Okay. Just waiting for a response from Walkerman. Still.
So I know you got a chance to watch Worlds. How much of it were you able to catch?
I got to see two THLers that were casting. That was our good friends Edelweiss and Dragon Rider. So that was cool to always see those two on stream. And then I caught pretty much all of the top 4 matches, so which were really great.
Nice.
So I don't want to ruin who won it, but if a THLer won it, so take that as some information with not a lot of information, but I'm sure Twitter's and YouTube is going to spoil it for those out there just as much. So okay.
I may already have spoiled it earlier on this stream, so sorry to the audience if I ruined that for you. If you were
they won't remember. They won't remember. It's all good. So Walkerman's able to join us. So okay, I'll add you. Okay, Let's get Walkerman in here, and you can ask all the questions.
Oh,
You're on tap. Hey, Walkerman, congrats on the win tonight.
Hey. Yeah, thank you.
Original cost. Yeah, overdraft.
How did you? What was your thought process there rolling into this week?
Well, I'm not sure. I was a little bit unsure of what Eternal was going to bring because he bring the same two classes each week, and then Paladin, ended up becoming just insanely good. So I basically replaced my Paladin my DH with the Paladin, and as it turned out, and then whenever he posted, I seen he had a DK up, so I figured he was kind of going to try to loosely target a Highlander Shaman. So I kind of made a last minute switch to Nature Shaman. The last, I think I've been playing it all weekend. So, and then pretty much the Mech Rogue and the Dragon Druid have been pretty standard for me since week 2 this season.
Mm-hmm.
But I changed my Druid list up a little bit this week. I added a Piper back into it, and that card that makes your spells cost 2 as well. I'm sorry, I'm not the greatest at card names,
That's
but
okay.
I added those 2 cards in it in case he had like a Reno Shaman or something like that to try to make his spells cost a little more.
for sure. We were curious too about the rogue that you brought. We saw the kobolds come out, but we weren't sure if it was the variant with Thunderbringer or the variant with Mothership or Containment Unit.
It's the variant with Thunderbringer. I think as far as a tournament deck, I think that one is better because it's got a little bit more sustain to it with Thunderbringer and Crab. But I think the Mothership build is actually a better ladder, because it's a little more aggro, a little more, beat you by turn 4 or 5.
For sure.
A lot of punch you in the face kind of
Walk us
antics.
through your Walk us through your experience playing this. You got a good early couple of wins here, and did things go about as expected for you in this matchup today?
Well, I don't, I guess, I don't try to play Q games or anything, so I generally, the first game out, I just put my Druid out there because I thought it had the best matchup spread against what he brung. Plus, it's just a deck that I just really, really have a lot of confidence in and really like to play. So I rolled it out first, just to kind of see, what he was queuing, and then after I seen he queued up Shaman first, then I decided that probably if he was going to happen to queue it again or go with his Druid next, that was the best opportunity to get my Rogue through, and then that gave me, if I would have happened to get, since I got the Rogue through, it gave me 3 chances to get Nature Shaman through, which is obviously a pretty tough deck to play at times. So I'm glad that I got 3 chances with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, tricky deck to pilot. You did it very well, and congratulations on the win and 3-0. It's a big accomplishment. So good luck. Congratulations today, and good luck on the rest of your season.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.
Yep, take care.
All right, so that pretty much wraps it up for week 3 for THL, and obviously Sunday Showdown. So we can I guess look forward to see if we can get some more matches. So if anybody's interested, just hit us on up on either the THL Discord. Just put your match on there and into the stream match requests. It's usually on Fridays. We usually have from 8 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern. So that's on Saturdays also. So that's done by Wild9. And then we're obviously back here for Sunday. For those of you that like to tune in to some of the talk shows, i.e. Hearthcenter, that'll be broadcasting on Tuesday at 9. I think it's 10 p.m. Sorry, 10 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. Eastern. I can't remember anymore. Getting old, getting too old. So, but yeah. So anybody's interested?
It's all in the afternoons for me. So.
There you go. So it's you're wide awake, unlike me at that time. So, but any final words before we let everybody go and enjoy the rest of their Sunday before they have to go to work?
No, just everyone have a restful evening and happy holidays, and looking forward to casting some more Sunday Showdowns as you all, I'm sure, volunteer to take up those slots now that Saku's given the call to action.
Exactly. All right. Peace out, everybody. Be safe and happy holidays. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Should just be